Like going over to the Cultural Pod podcast, you have a man breaking into a home going viral on social media, with many saying, yeah, we know how to fix this. Now, this is brought to us thanks to Drew Hunter Hernandez on Twitter or X, saying, quote, "You see this at your window, what is your next move?" And here you can see a house, and it's a gentleman in all black with dreadlocks, well, African-American as well, and he's pretty persistent in getting this window off, even breaking the glass, which, yeah, isn't cohesive to good health. Glass kills. Also, people defend their homes, as they should. Yeah, what did I say? YouTube kidding or something like that? Castle doctrine is a beautiful thing. That's why you should live in a freedom state.
Why are you playing?
Yes, why are you playing? Interesting question. Balls on his ass. Punches through the window. Now cross through. Breaking glass everywhere, which... Now, I was about to say fun fact. Sad fact. If you live in a shitty place like New Jersey, which is, yeah, I would say one of the worst places in the United States, they have what they call the right to retreat law. That means if this person is breaking your house just like that, legally speaking, you have to turn around and run, which I would argue is the antithesis of America. Much more of France or Canada in terms of cultural. But yeah, if you actually confront this gentleman, this person trying to break into your house in New Jersey, you get in trouble. Yeah, the law is that you have to prove that there's no way you could have gotten out of there. Because again, it is a right to retreat state. In states with a modicum of sanity, they have the castle doctrine, which again, I'm not a lawyer, though I do own a suit. That is where, yeah, you could defend your castle by any means necessary. In which this person probably wouldn't get far if they're in places like, Texas or Florida. Though in California, they'd probably be given, an award from the courts would probably give the thief or this person breaking in a hefty sum of money because he might have broken some skin on the glass, maybe bled a little. But again, that's a state that rewards criminals. Now, this went really viral, got 5 million views as well as 22,000 likes. And again, he's asking, "You see this at your window, what is your next move?" My first comment says Gunther Eagleman saying, quote, "Finger squeeze," getting 2.4 thousand likes, which, so you're not, I was gonna say, even if you're not a gun aficionado, you can probably figure out he means squeeze the trigger. Anderson says, quote, "I hope his mama got that good boy graduation photo ready for this newspapers." Grammar be damned, he did say it that way, getting 9.1 thousand likes. Tavishnar says, quote, "A shotgun with a salt rock load would be an appropriate response. If necessary, the next shell would be buckshot. Which one the intruder received would be entirely up to him." There's a picture of a mom and a child. It says, "A gun in the hand is worth more than the entire police force on the phone." Fact check true, getting 2.4 thousand likes. So one of my favorite debates, so I think all Texas has this debate. What's the most optimal way to defend your house in terms of a personal firearm? To which I always say shotguns are the dumbest thing, especially, again, not legal advice. Using rock salt is the dumbest thing possible. Same with bean bags and all that extra novelty crap. I say that because in most areas, legally speaking, using a firearm is the same either way. You're still using deadly force. As crazy as that sounds, laws around guns aren't logical. This would be one of those examples where, yeah, if you shoot someone with rock salt or, whether it be a beanbag, you discharged a firearm. Also, with a lot of recoil going deaf, and you got one shot, and when you're that close, about the size of a golf ball or a baseball, you don't have that traditional shotgun spread that everyone always brags, "Oh, if I just rack the shotgun, they'll run away." No, you just told them where you are position-wise. Also, again, at close quarters, it's only going to be a golf ball size or like a softball size spread of the pellets, which is why I will always advocate the best implement, bar none, would be standard AR-15 suppressed, ideally with a 75-round drum. You got very little recoil. You do not go deaf, and you get more shots on target. So that's something that I think every group of guys always debates on. We want a 1911, a Glock, or AR-15, a shotgun. It's a fun debate, and well, I would argue there's a right answer, obviously. But yeah, a shotgun, especially for a gal. I mean, most guys, 12 gauge, you're gonna push you back. Hard time getting a follow-up shot. AR, pretty much any able-bodied person could shoot multiple times with very little recoil. But that's just my 3 cents. It used to be 2 cents, but 40-year hyperinflation and not legal advice. Chris West says, quote, "Well, since I'm Kanata, I would first be sued for cutting his poor man's arms and hands. and legs is with my intact window that shattered for no reason. I would then be arrested for the assault of a deadly weapon because I shouldn't defend myself at my home. Getting 6.9 thousand likes. And also a strong reminder of what POS Justin Trudeau is, who famously said, you have no right to defend yourself with a firearm. Again, Canada is a third world hellhole, I would argue, because you have no freedom of speech and no ability to defend yourself. That's why the United States is so uniquely beautiful. An age-old saying is, God made man, but Samuel Colt made man equal, which is true because, again, if you're a petite woman, you get equal ground to defend. If you have a nice, well, I would say handgun or AR-15 against a big bodybuilder guy who could physically beat you to death. But that gun makes you equal. I would also, probably give you an advantage if anything. But yeah, and Samuel Colt, some people might argue the wheel guns are a weapon of an old civilized age. But Samuel Colt, fun fact of the day, is famous because he was the first successful patent holder to invent a successful repeating revolver. Before then, there's a lot of misfires. You also have Dr. Prepper saying, quote, well, he has a meme, or rather just a picture of a revolver saying wrong house, getting 5.1 thousand likes. Ark says, quote, reaction to a home invasion, non-gun owner. It's a scared, petite, beta-looking man, somehow with a woman, saying, oh, we're gonna die. They have a picture of I don't know what movie that is, but a cowboy says, gun owner, I'm your Huckleberry, getting 2.3 thousand likes. Jay Lee says, take this picture. It's a revolver with the inscription on the barrel, smile, wait for flash, getting 1.4 thousand likes. Cassandra says, quote, the police cannot stop an intruder, mugger, or stalker from hurting you. They can pursue him only after he has harmed or killed you. Protecting yourself from harm is your responsibility, and you are far less likely to be hurt in a neighborhood of gun owners than you are in a neighborhood of disarmed citizens, even if you don't own a gun yourself. And apparently there's a quote from Harry Brown. You can see a nice sexy lady holding the heck they can't. She's carrying a scar, or an FN scar, light. But I think the magazine is either black or removed, because with this picture, it does not look like there's a magazine in. I guess she does have a standard 30 round mag in there. Although, again, you have the iconic, 7 or 8 different shades of tan for the Scar Heavy. Well, this is Scar Light, sorry. But yeah, it has a black magazine, which almost makes it look like it's not there. Then she also has probably a Glock in her holster for a pistol. Getting 1,000 likes. Scrolling down more and more, you have Echo Based Network. Pretty long name. He simply has some pictures of some, legally pistols or AR pistols. Looks like, just standard 30 round capacity. Actually, one looks like it's a PCC or pistol caliber carbine. It looks like 9mm, I think. They both got cans on, which, yeah. Don't forget, suppressors are legal for civilians to own in 42 freedom-loving states. You just need to do the proper paperwork, pay the $200 extortion fee for the NFA tax, and your local dealership, if they're properly, has licensing for it, they'll help walk you through it. Yeah, I can't recommend enough for, not just for your hearing protection, but home defense, so you don't go deaf off that first shot. They got 2.5 thousand likes. Scripter says, quote, me watching the intruder with a quarter-sized hole in his chest, plead with me to call 911. Nice, they got the Boba Fett actor getting 3.4 thousand likes. Starless Sky says, introduce him to my local candy stash, and someone has a candy machine where they switched it out for pistol caliber bullets, or cartridges, technically speaking. They got 1.7 thousand likes. Mr. Idaho says, which one do I choose? And it looks like he has a 223-556 cartridge, and then a ginormous lever action cartridge. 450? Those, in terms of my areas of improvement, I'd say lever action rifles are the one area of firearms I know the least about. But yeah, that's a big old cartridge. Getting 760 likes. There we go. Case in point, Bird Crow Studios has a picture that says, quote, God created men, Samuel Colt made them equal. Getting 187 likes. U.S. Homeland Security says, go Texas on them. And there's someone loading up antique side-by-side double barrel shotgun, which, again, I would never use for home defense because a lot of recoil. And in that case, you got 2 shots versus the AR-15. If you put one in the chamber, 76 shots. Yeah, with a drum mag, but still, that extra weight will reduce the recoil, I would argue. Going down more and more. Oh, wait. No, not seeing any contrarian statements here. And again, the scary thing is, in some states, you have to retreat, which is why I would never live in a place like New Jersey, heaven forbid. And always, I was going to say, not legal advice, but I'm always a fan of all the concealed carry classes, even where you have constitutional carry, Because the big thing people forget to think about is, heaven forbid this happens to you, you will be arrested. You'll be, eventually you'll be proven innocent in court, given the circumstances. But yeah, it's still going to be hell on your career, on your family. I mean, you're going to be, you might lose your job. It's one of those things where no one ever, people bombastically see on the internet, oh yeah, do this, that. It's like, no real gun owner, I would argue, most of them, none of them actually want this to happen, heaven forbid. Because then you'll have to defend them in court, and shoot, they can always sue you in civil court, which we've seen time and time again, as ridiculous as that is. And yeah, I would say, yeah, concealed carry courses are great because they'll tell you about the legality and the legal ramifications and what happens, heaven forbid, if it does. You do have to use your firearm in self-defense. And those are, I would say, invaluable pieces of advice. But let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so you can click that button. I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, a comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.